sound great. Sounds so good. Woo. Sing with us what you remember. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Here we go. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Here we go. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say when I am falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. Have every failure, God, you'll have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. One more. Oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Yeah, you all sound amazing.
Please be seated. Sometimes I hear that song and I can't help myself. I feel verklempt.
Yes.
Really, really powerful song. Anyway, welcome. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to our service here today on this last Sunday in April. It may not look like a beautiful spring day, but it is a beautiful spring day because your presence makes it so. And the same applies to those of you tuned in on our YouTube channel. Thank you ever so much for being with us this morning. A quick reminder, if you have not yet silenced your cell phones, would you please do so? And I want to make sure, is anybody here for the first time? Okay, no first-time visitors, which means we can move forward, and we will do so. Luna, would you please come forward and share with us today's daily word reading after lighting our Christ candle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The daily word for today is blessed. I am blessed with peace, calm, and love of God. Today, if someone asks me how I am, I will smile and respond, I am blessed. This simple declaration will set the tone for the day, encouraging me to notice blessings, large and small, especially in the little things I may take for granted. I will also be mindful that God is the source of all my blessings. I find my greatest blessing in grounding myself in God's grace. It brings me peace, calms my fears, and it is a bright guiding light in dark and difficult times. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus described the blessings of life, reminding those gathered that the truest wealth is not measured by money and power. I take those words to heart and feel deeply grateful. I am spiritually blessed, enriched by God's unwavering love. And from Matthew 5:8, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. And I say amen. I am your prayer chaplain today. I'll be honored to pray with you, either in the front or in the back room. And we remind you that if you choose instead to write a prayer, you can put it in the prayer box. Will be prayed for a month at Unity, Fox Valley, and then it goes to Silent Unity and it's prayed for another month. You can always choose to call Silent Unity or write to them for a prayer at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Luna. And now I invite you to please join me in praying our Spirit's unfolding vision prayer. Guided by divine wisdom, inspired by divine imagination, centered in divine love, and knowing that God is our source, we boldly move forth in faith as we allow Spirit's expanding vision to unfold in our lives, the life of the spiritual community, and our world. Thank you, God. Amen. And now, if I may, let me impose upon you, please, to return to your feet and join in singing and praying the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Please be seated. It's that glorious time where we get to bless our children. I would like to invite our children and their teachers to please come forward so that we may do that. Join with me, please. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, and know that you are empowered to do great things.
A star makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do, like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Okay. Now it's okay. Weird pedal. So you get Carole King 2 weeks in a row. How about that? Just worked out that way. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. People gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with the workday wind blowing, I've got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. People gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for this sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe we can end this madness. Maybe not, but we can surely try. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. People gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful, that you're beautiful, that you're beautiful as you feel.
That was beautiful, and you are beautiful. And we have a beautiful music team. Oh Lord, how it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. That's not mine, it was Mac Davis. We're not going to sing that today because we have a plethora of wonderful songs today. But I do have a short story for you. One day, little Johnny was on the floor teasing his baby sister and making all sorts of weird faces, all that going on. And little Johnny's father came up to him and said, "Johnny, stop that right now." And when I was your age, my mother told me that if I kept making faces like that, my face could freeze up and stay that way forever. And little Johnny said, "Well, Dad, you can't say you weren't warned." Our topic today is the gifts of imperfection. And I have to start with a bit of confession, okay? When preparing talks and thinking about talks and topics, I really have this thing of not dipping back into the pool and using old material that I had used before. I just can't do that because I don't want to mail it into you, frankly, and I take it very seriously. But in doing my research for today's talk, I came to a talk that I had done 3 years ago with the same title, The Gifts of Imperfection. And then I sat down, and well, first of all, I want to say, hey, nobody's perfect, okay? So that's your first takeaway from this talk today. Okay, it's a nickel's worth, but it's something. Anybody ever calls you a nobody, you thank them and say, hey, nobody's perfect. Okay. But as I sat down and I read what I had written 3 years ago, I felt that it was far from perfect and actually very lame. And in that moment yesterday morning, some feelings ran through me, and I would say that those feelings pretty much could be identified as embarrassment and shame. Because as I said, the one thing that I do pride myself on, especially, is I really do try to work to give you the best that I've got. And I thought what I did 3 years ago just absolutely stunk. But then I was thinking, well, how strange is this? I mean, this was 3 years ago, something that I did with good intentions, and now I'm reading this, and I'm really kind of down in the dumps about what I'm feeling about what I did 3 years ago. And I came to then what I think is really the nut, the heart and soul of the message today. And that is that perfection or perfectionism is very highly overrated. And worse than that, it's a lie. And worse than that, the whole concept of perfectionism is probably the single biggest contributor to the shame and embarrassment that we feel in our lives. In those experiences, and even when we think that they're gone, they could possibly be resurrected as they were in me. And just make sure I get this right. So if you don't think what I'm saying is so, let me ask you this. When you were getting ready today to come to church, did any of you look into the mirror, stand back, and say, wow, damn, I'm perfect? Or did you see flaws? Did you see something that you were not happy with? Maybe a wrinkle? Maybe a zit? Maybe you were unhappy with the way your hair looks? Or maybe you were unhappy because you didn't have hair? I can relate. And somehow or another, you saw, and whether you actually came into your head or not, you were in a place of knowing that you were less than perfect. And you might be saying, yeah, Reverend Mike, you're forgetting something. This is unity. We do not want to we don't want to center on looks and appearances. Okay, it's all about what's going on inside of you that matters. And in fact, didn't our way show or actually tell us that we should be perfect like the Father is perfect? And on all of those counts, you would be 100% right. But I'm using those examples that I used today because they are samples that the world uses in order to get the message across to us that we are not enough. Looks and appearances, invisible failures, and all of that kind of stuff that every single person on the face of the earth experienced. Those are used as criterion to judge us that we are not perfect and we are not enough, and really sending a message of, nice try, but it's no good, you're not enough. So I really want to focus today on what is going on inside too, because I will repeat that perfectionism is an out-and-out lie, and your significance is your inner wholeness that each and every one of you share. But the point is, you're not going to reach that inner wholeness by striving to the mandates, the dictates of what perfectionism is all about. And this is an add-on thanks to my wife Susan, as we were driving on 31 today coming to the church, because she knew what the talk was kind of about, and she says, well, who gets to decide what's perfect anyway? And she says, I look at these beautiful trees, and it's green and it's perfect, and that tree is a different color green, but it's perfect, and even that tree that's dead has perfectionism to it. And then she kind of giggled and said, just call me Reverend Susan. But Susan is never about hubris, okay? She's about playfulness. And I just think it's not perfect. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you want to embrace your wholeness, stop pursuing perfection. If you want to get to your wholeness, you need to start embracing your flaws. You need to start embracing your weaknesses. The Apostle Paul, in his second letter to the Corinthians, writes, my power is made perfect in my weaknesses. Your weaknesses are your stepping stones to your wholeness. And I want to talk about Psalm 120 that I came across. And the opening line from that psalm is, I call on the Lord in my distress, and he answers me. I call on the Lord in my distress, and he answers me. I mean, you sit with that for just a few seconds, and that's really a very beautiful, powerful thought. I call on the Lord in my stress, and he answers me. But what is fascinating about the psalm is that really good affirmation is followed by a whole bunch of things that are driving the psalmist nuts. And he enumerates them: the lies, the wars. Too easy, I won't go there. The fears, the troubles that are bothering him. And he comes away by focusing on them a bit. This psalm not all psalms carry names. This psalm, ironically, is called the Song of Ascent. So even though he's going through all of the troubles, all of the sorrows in his life, he's explaining the significance of his opening statements. I call on the Lord in my stress, and he answers me. I know. Because wherever you are, in that psalm, he's talking about his fears, his concerns, and his sins. And I know, it's unity. We don't like that S word. We don't like to talk about sins. So if you want to talk about missing the mark, that's okay with me. I don't care. But I will share with you, back when I was a small boy, being raised in Catholicism, when I did something bad or even thought about doing something bad, I was overwhelmed with feelings of shame and feelings of guilt and feeling that I was a sinner. I don't think of myself as a sinner, but I still have those moments when I could have done better, and I really go down the path of beating myself up about it, and I try to repress all of that and wash it away instead of using that as a stepping stone, as I might well do. You know, you look at somebody, and we all know people like this. Boy, he's got it all together. She has got it all together. You know, they're riding the crest. Everything is perfect in their world. They're well off financially. They live in a beautiful house. They have beautiful kids. Everything seems to be absolutely fantastic. And you know what? There's truth in that at some moment. But there's a point here that let me try to illustrate. Okay. I'm standing up here on the platform. So take this symbolically. I'm better off than all of you. I've got it all together. I'm higher up. And I must be blessed by God, and God must be with me. But then, what about the times when I'm no longer riding high in April and I'm shot down in May, and I'm down here, and this isn't really low enough to dramatize what I'm trying to get to you? Am I really going to say that in this moment, God is someplace else? That God is not with me? That Spirit is not with me? What causes me, in fact, when I'm in the depths here, to lift a leg up? And to try, as that psalmist was expressing, to ascend. Sometimes you don't make it all the way to the top. We rarely do, in fact. And if you go back up here, you know, or you arrive at this, I mean, you're going to come back down here again anyway. So why would you not grow in that consciousness and that awareness of being elevated in the Spirit of God? At one time or another, everybody will experience peaks. Everybody will experience at least a taste of happiness, a taste of joy, and significantly, a taste of love. And even from the midst of that, there will be times, because it's just part of the cycle. And this is such a significant thing to get across. We talk about walking the spiritual path, and we don't understand it's not linear. It is absolutely not linear. Stretches of it, like from here to here, that might look very linear. But the fact of it is really a spiral. And hopefully, it's not a cul-de-sac in which you're constantly walking the same circle, but as you move along, your consciousness grows along with you on that path. Anybody ever played the game Chutes and Ladders? Oh my God, I played with my daughters when they were young. It drove me absolutely nuts. You get all the way to the top. That was, that's all you had to do was go. And you hit a chute, and shoom, you're right back down to where you started. I'm telling you, it encapsulates exactly what I'm trying to get across today. And sometimes you luck out and you don't fall down a chute, but you realize a ladder which helps you to ascend, to cheat the path a little bit by getting a little bit higher. It's all part of our human experiences. There's no such thing as perfectionism. And Susan said before, asked the question, who gets to decide what's perfect anyway? The world, your mother, your father, your teachers in school, your spouse, maybe, your kids, definitely, your grandkids, maybe not so much. The point is, everybody has an opinion about who and what you are supposed to be. And when we meet somebody for the first time, we don't always give them a benefit of a doubt. We're making those judgments about how flawed, how imperfect, how loony, how whatever that they might be. And so it's no wonder that we look at ourselves and we turn those negative feelings and those judgments toward ourselves. I took Spanish lessons one time, years ago. For 18 months, I went every single Saturday and worked with a tutor because I really wanted to learn how to speak Spanish because both of my daughters were fluent, and I was really jealous about that. And about 16 months into this, the instructor stopped in the session and he said, I want to tell you something. You're trying to be perfect here in learning this language. And as long as you're trying to be perfect, you are never, ever, ever going to be fluent in Spanish. If you want to be fluent in Spanish, just come out and talk and make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, I'll notice that you're making a mistake because Spanish is my first language and I'm really good at it. And I might even giggle at you and laugh at you, but so what? And he reminded me that when kids are trying to learn language for the very first time and they use words that kind of sound like the real words, spaghetti becomes biscotti or something like that, and we laugh at it. So what? Because in those errors and in those mistakes, in the glory of our imperfectedness. Is there such a word? I guess there is now. It's actually going out on YouTube. We forget that there are ladders for us. There are spiritual ladders for us. We forget, and we stopped looking for love, and we start believing that maybe we're not even capable of being loved, let alone being loving. And we got shut down, all in the name of the beauty of perfectionism. Our way shower was born in a stable. Incredibly imperfect conditions to come into the world. And I have to believe that the writers of the gospel portrayed it that way exactly to make this point. It's from our baseness, it's from our imperfections that we grow into the wonder of our wholeness, that we grow into the being of our Christhood. And part of the nativity story is when the angel appeared to the shepherds and said, hey, there's something incredible going on there. You get to go see what's going to be the Christ. The first reaction that they had was fear. If you want to be whole, forget about perfect. If you want to be whole, you have to be willing to step into your fear. You have to be willing to step into your addictions. You have to be willing to step into your habits. You have to be willing to step into those thoughts that you've been carrying on since forever, the grudgements, the refusal to forgive, and all of that kind of stuff. And most of all, you have to step into that thing, the realization that it is time to stop beating myself up and to use that which is to make it a what was, so that you are closer to the true reality of who and what that you really are. Striving for perfection in order to eliminate shame is a really bad idea because it's not going to work. And in fact, it'll probably make things worse because it will reinforce, as soon as something goes wrong, it will reinforce the whole thought that, yeah, you were just kidding yourself. You do not have what it takes. And you know what? You do not have what it takes. You are what it takes. So mess up once in a while. Bless that mess up. You're learning to speak a new language. You're learning to speak a language of love. And trust me, you're going to fall down. You're going to plummet down to the bottom at times. And then you get to use it to pick yourself right back up. So now we're going to move into prayer and meditation. And it ain't going to be perfect. That's not the point. If you're looking for perfection, even in meditation, you might want to do some rethinking. But you might want to not stop praying and allow yourself to be who you are in the depth of that prayer.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could I have ever told anyone they were anything less than beautiful? How could I have
Join me now in prayer. Allow yourself to create some separation, not from your flaws, but in everything that might disturb you, distract you, take you away from the business at hand for the next few minutes. And that's the full presentation of yourself, the whole package. The ground of your being, whether you recall that ground of your being, God, Spirit, it doesn't matter. You move into a deeper state of your being. Not to define God, but to discover God within you. And so, if you're not yet feeling it, move into that space, that place in which you sit with an understanding that you are in a very, very safe place, physically and spiritually. There's no harm awaiting you, only discovery. There are no wrong feelings in this moment. It is a time of a giving over of oneself, completely and totally as possible. To put yourself in that spiritual sphere, to allow yourself to not drift, but walk into the kingdom. And experience life from a whole new perspective. Not a perspective that is rained down upon you, but is found deep, deep within you. There is nothing out of reach here. There are no mountains too high to climb. In these moments, we have the ability to discover all that we are seeking by engaging in the powerful act of surrender. And so I invite you now to do just that in some moments of silence. And now, as you are ready, I ask you to redirect your focus, your attention back to this physical space. Take another breath and let it go, and let that breath be an amen to anything that you may have discovered. Recognize the room. Take a glance at the person next to you, or maybe across the aisle or around you, and maybe do so with an inward smile. And come back with at least a touch of the knowing that regardless of what's going on in your life, the higherness, the epitome of joy and love and peace always is available to you. Loving Spirit, we are so grateful to come together, enjoy the synergy, the love together. The opportunity to discover the fullness of our power in what the world might regard as flawed or weak. So we thank you, Spirit, for a higher knowing this morning, a greater consciousness, for the opportunity to affirm that we are people of the love and not people of the lie. We understand, Spirit, that nothing happens independent of you, that all that we experience, all that we affirm, becomes manifest with you, through you, and in you. And for this and for so much more, we are incredibly grateful and say, Amen. You know, sometimes I get up and I just don't want to keep going with the routine. But onward and upward. It is now time for our sacrament of giving and receiving. And I really want to give you thanks for your investments financially in this place that help keep the plant going and help keep us maintaining our spiritual home in a very real way. And as always, let that giving of your dollars and cents just be a tangible expression of the investment that we make to one another as part of this church family. And so join me now in praying our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. And divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive.
Oh, there we are. Okay, so this song tells a true story from my graduate days in Western Alaska. The main characters are in these pictures. Me in the upper right, back when I still had hair. I'm holding a little cackling geese. We paid Why did you stop there? Well, that's an imperfection, and it still doesn't want to stop. Okay. Well, I'm sure glad the theme today is imperfection. So I'm holding a little cackling goose. We rounded these up to help pay our way to the Fish and Wildlife Service who hosted us. And then in the bottom left-hand picture, John is pulling the Evinrude, or not, is pulling the Grumman. The Evinrude is on the other boat in the upper left-hand picture with John leaning over it and his brother Dave in the middle. So those are the characters, and we'll see if we can get this thing to work. It turned itself off.
Of course.
Of course. Okay, come on.
Technology.
Yeah, boy, thought I had this all figured out. Oh well. It was the last banding trip of the season. The geese all got away. We shrugged, ate lunch, loaded up the trap for our return to Cocochic Bay. It was my turn to steer down the river, my turn to be the fool, my turn to start the Evinrude that was stubborn as a mule, 'cause it took 10 pulls, 20 pulls, 30 or more to get that thing to go. 40, 50, 60, sometimes let's give up and roll, but if we get this motor started, we'll improve our attitude. This open flywheel, nail handle, pull rope, gears exposed and 40 horsepower, ancient rear mount outboard puts the root in Evinrude. The wind pushed us onto the shoreline as I got the motor set. They pushed from shore with our only oar. I gave a pull, but nothing yet. With the wind and machine both against us, the process was so slow. 10 minutes, only 20 pulls were all I had to show. But it took 10 pulls, 20 pulls, 30 or more to get that thing to go. 40, 50, 60, sometimes let's give up and roll. But if we get this motor started, we'll improve our attitude. This open flywheel, nail handle, pull rope, gears exposed in 40 horsepower, ancient rear mount outboard puts the root in Evinrude. Then we said, let us throw out the anchor to hold us from the shore. Now my pulls went much quicker as they put away the oar. As I kept pushing, my arms sore as could be. Up spoke John and announced to all he'd get it going in just 3. He'd get it going in just 3. Now John, a Canadian student, always had a lie to tell. His stories and tall tales entertained. But now his reputation was on the line as well. His first pull did nothing gained. John tried again and failed again. We were prepared to gloat. He tried to motivate it with a speech. For mother, God, and country, all was quiet in the boat. We hoped this time he'd gone beyond his reach. Well, the motor gave a cough on the third pull, then sputtered, roared alive. He'd done it, John had done it, and he settled back to drive. With our backs to the wind, we all faced him, and his smug forward gaze. He had beat the Evinrude, he'd be insufferable for days, 'cause it took 10 pulls, 20 pulls, 30 or more to get that thing to go. 40, 50, 60, sometimes let's give up and roll, but if we get this motor started, we'll improve our attitude. This open flywheel, nail handle, pull rope, gears exposed and 40 horsepower, ancient rear mount outboard push the root in Evinrude. But as we faced to the stern, we could see it arising from below. We had forgot our anchor and we had it now in tow. It skipped all along on the surface a demented water skier. John saw our look and turned around and forgot he had to steer. But it took 10 pulls, 20 pulls, 30 or more to get that thing to go. 40, 50, 60, sometimes let's give up and roll. But if we get this motor started, we'll improve our attitude. This open flywheel, nail handle, pull rope, gears exposed and 40 horsepower, ancient rear mount outboard puts the root in Evinrude. Now the anchor danced along as we watched it. The sight was so bizarre that no one thought to look ahead. We ran up on a bar, and the Evinrude, it saw its chance, it sputtered and it died. We couldn't help but laugh at all the fun. We pushed off from the bar and brought the anchor back inside as John prepared the motor for pull one. And you know, it took 10 pulls, 20 pulls, 30 or more to get that thing to go. 40, 50, 60, sometimes let's give up and roll. But if we get this motor started, we'll improve our attitude. This open flywheel, nail handle, pull rope, gears exposed and 40 horsepower, ancient rear mount outboard puts the root in Evinrude. This ancient 40 horse outboard puts the root in Evinrude.
Woo! Wordy.
Well, there's imperfection in the events of the story and in my performance.
Thank you, Carl. Really appreciate your contributions. That means it's time now for our announcements. First one here is, please pay attention. We could really use a few helping hands after the service to move chairs and prepare the space for a carpet to be cleaned on Tuesday morning. So many hands make light work. If you are able-bodied and at the very least able to take the chair you're sitting on and move it to the fellowship area as a staging place, we will then eventually move and stack all of the chairs, all 100 of them, into the classroom, the adult ed classroom. So if you are really very well physically okay, come back and get another one, okay? If you need to get your steps in today, come back and get 4 or 5, not at one time, but we really could use the help to clear the floor, okay? The next announcement, May Taco Bar is next week. It's because it's that time of the year, Cinco de Mayo that is. On Sunday, May 3rd, our annual Taco Bar returns, and we're looking for volunteers to help bring items for the bar. If you can help or have any questions, reach out to Wanda Fay, and she has an email address here and a phone number. Just see me about that, and I'll be glad to share it. Bike Safety Day, May 15th. I hope you all took a bulletin, because in the bulletin, there's an insert about this really important day that people have been working, Susan Renard in particular, incredibly working very hard in order to make this happen and be not okay, but a wild, wild success. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Do you want 30 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
I asked if I could come up and talk instead of sing, because this is a brand new event, and it's really important that I convey to you what the event is, because everybody's asking about bike safety. May is Bike Safety Month, and in order to give the church a way to be an outreach to the community, to get more people to know about unity, and to be connected with something that is good for the residents of Kane County, we came up with the bike event. So it's a 9 to 11, sort of like an open house. People can come and go, but we have 2 presenters, one from Prairie Path Cycles, one from Boji Bikes. They've been phenomenal. They're going to talk about safety checks that you should do before you go on a ride so you don't break down during a ride, and also e-bike mechanics and maintenance, bike maintenance. And then BATEC, which is the Batavia Police Commission that works on active transportation, it's a very long name, they're going to talk about the new e-bike ordinances that are coming out. All of this is meant to make people on the bike paths and on the roads safer. And the e-bikes have caused quite a few problems. They're going too fast, they're not announcing when they're on the bike path. Some of the business owners in Batavia said they've stopped using the path because they feel it's too dangerous. So the police department is really anxious to get the word out to everybody, educate everybody about bike safety. And that's what this event is meant to be about. It's up to about 15,000 potential views in publicity. We will be mentioned in an article in the Daily Herald. So we're hoping that this is going to make awareness for unity as well. It's going to be a fun day. I need about 10 to 12 volunteers, and I'll be there to explain that. I want to cut it short today. I'm guesstimating because we really don't know much about this because it's a brand new event. So I'm feeling like I need a few able-bodied men to help set up, or strong women, to help set up a few pop-up tents and to bring out about 12 chairs. And then the tables are going to be outside. We just need to set them up. And then we'll have a few people there at the event just to kind of keep things flowing. I'm going to be talking with the police department about how to set it up so we don't have overflow. Hopefully people are going to be walking and riding here on their bikes and not driving. If they drive, I'm going to have a plan B for parking because we're going to use the parking area for the bike event. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Susan, for the heart and soul that you've been pouring into this event. And I invite you folks who heard the announcement, don't unity this thing. By that I mean the date is May 16th. Don't decide that you're going to volunteer on the 15th, please. Okay, let Susan know that you're available. Again, the Unity of Des Plaines, our sister ministry, is having a spring women's retreat, and that is on the weekend of Friday, May 15th, and Saturday, May 16th. Check out the bulletin board for details or contact Susan Corpin if you think you might want to go on this retreat. Our spring barbecue fundraiser is upon us May 26th. Join us for our Unity of Fox Valley barbecue fundraiser Tuesday, May 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy a delicious, freshly grilled meal, warm fellowship, and all kinds of good stuff. Our meals are just $20, and with your choice of pork, chicken, or a combo. Each served with classic sides. Bring your family, invite a friend, help support Unity of Fox Valley in a fun and meaningful way. There is a mutual ground walk scheduled for May 30th. Pam, are you coming up to do this thing, or you want to do it next week? Okay. Okay, this is part of outreach, which Pam is now heading up. We will give you more details. It sounds like a really, really cool event, though. That concludes our announcements for today, so it's time for a congregational blessing, and stay standing for a prayer of protection and the peace song. Let's bless. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, and know that you are empowered to do great things. Our prayer of protection: the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Sing it out.